Hi everyone, today we're going to have a look at chainless foundation crochet. Now chainless foundation is when you crochet the foundation row and the first row at the same time. So this makes your crochet look neater. It also adds stretch to your project. So it's great for beanies or anything that you want a softer edging to. With this technique we start our project without having to work the first row of foundation chains. So normally we'd work this first chain and then work our first row along horizontally. You can see there's not as much stretch in this one. For the chainless foundation we work vertically. So for the first row we do our chains and our stitch at the same time. And I'm going to explain that in a moment. So we're going to look at all of our basic stitches, our double, half treble, treble and double treble. So we need to start with a slip knot, and our double crochet in US terms is single crochet. We chain 2, then we need to work our foundation stitch. So we're coming back into the very first chain that we made. Go into that chain, making sure that you pick up both loops of that stitch. Pull up a loop, and now we're going to chain our foundation chain. So yarn over and pull through one loop, and now we make our stitch. So yarn over and pull through 2. We've just made our first V for our foundation chain, and to the right of that is our first double crochet. Now we need to go into the next chain, so be careful what loop you're going into. It's not the first loop from the hook where our yarn is coming out, it's the first V, the first chain stitch. So we're going in to that chain again, making sure you through both loops, pull up a loop, and we're working our chain. So yarn over and pull through. Now we work our stitch, yarn over and pull through both. Going back to the last chain that we did, through both loops, yarn over and pull up a loop, and again making our chain, our foundation. So yarn over, pull through 1, and now we make our stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. If we look on the side, you can see the V's forming for our foundation chain, and again our stitch, double crochet coming out to the right. Back into that last chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, making our chain stitch. So yarn over and through one loop, and now making the stitch itself, yarn over and through both for our double crochet. For our half treble crochet, we make our slip knot and we chain 2, and we're working back in to the first chain that we did, just like for double crochet. But for half treble we wrap our hook, we go into that chain stitch again, making sure we've got both loops, wrap your hook and pull up a loop, and now we need to work our chain stitch. So yarn over and pull through 1. Now we work our stitch. So half treble is going through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. And again, if we turn our work to the side, we've got the first loop where our yarn is coming out, and then we've got our V of our stitch. So we yarn over, go into that V, get both loops, yarn over and pull up a loop. We make our chain, so yarn over and through 1, and now we make our stitch, yarn over and through 3. Again, be careful where you're going to put your hook. It's not into this first loop, it's into the first V from the hook. It's quite easy to go into the wrong one. So yarn over into that V, yarn over and pull up a loop. We're going to make our chain, so yarn over and through 1. Now we're making our stitch, yarn over and through 3. Yarn over into that last V, and pull up a loop, making our chain, so we're pulling through 1, making our stitch. For half treble we're pulling through 3. And again, I've got the V's for our foundation and our half treble coming out to the right. Our treble stitch is done the same for the start. Slip knot, chain 2. So whether we're working double treble right through to a double stitch, we always start with our 2 chains at the beginning. You always pull the first loop through to create a chain and then work your stitch. So for our treble, again we need to wrap our hook, and we're going back into the first chain that we made. Pull up a loop, and we need to make our chain. So yarn over and through 1, and now we make our stitch. So we're doing the treble, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And now that we've got a higher stitch, you can see this is our chain for our foundation, and these loops are our stitch. So that's what I was saying before, you need to be careful about where you go into. Now we've got 2 loops before our V, so we don't want to work into these 2, we want to come back into that V. So wrap your hook, come back into that stitch there, wrap and pull up a loop. So we're making our chain, wrap and through 1, and now we can work our stitch, wrap and through 2, wrap and through 2. Again, yarn over into that last V stitch, pull up your loop, make your foundation chain, so wrap and through 1, and now make your stitch, wrap and through 2, wrap and through 2. V's for our foundation chain, and our stitches off to the right. Now for our double treble, we need to make our slip knot, work our 2 chains, and now we can work our stitch. So double trebles are up twice, back into the first chain that we made, pull up a loop, chain through the first loop for our foundation, and then work our stitch. So it's exactly the same no matter what stitch you're working. Always through one to make a chain, and then work your stitch. So you've always got your foundation chains to the left and your stitch coming out to the right. When you've worked the amount that you need, turn your work, chain the required amount for your turning chain, and then just work back into the top of those stitches as you normally would.